Hey everybody. So it dawned on me when I was doing the WIP and chat yesterday that I started out by telling you guys I was going to show you all the WIPs I have going into 2024 that are newly kitted up and ready to go. And then I actually let you guys go and I didn't show you. How about that? Yeah, guys, I'm telling you, sometimes by the end of the year, my ability to think in any coherent way is, let's say, impaired. So, I'm going to do that now. It kind of was a fortuitous circumstance because at the same time, I had a subscriber ask me if I would please explain and demo how I section off my canvases to work on them. So I'm going to mix the two together and hopefully it will come out, hopefully, in one cohesive piece. And if not, I'm sure you guys will let me know that it did not work. Okay. So we'll just start with this one. So you guys already know that I'm going into 2024 having kitted up and begun work on Soulmates by Raven Phelan. So the way that I section off, first of all, I use a wider washi tape for getting started, where you peel up the plastic and you put it right on the border on the canvas itself so that you can, be able to work on the canvas and the extra area where the glue is off of the drill field and sticky. Number one, doesn't stick to you, your drill pins, your clothes, your whatever. Doesn't collect any dust or dirt or animal hair or your hair or whatever you have floating around your house. So thicker strips, 1/2 inch or larger washi. I go all the way around the border. So here, because this is such a large canvas, and I'm going to be working on the bottom half for a while. So I've just done the bottom half, but I do have the washi tape ready to go, and I will start doing the sides and the top as I get to them. So you put that down on the canvas itself, then you put the plastic back down. Okay. Then I like to use a thinner washi tape. So, 1/4, 3/4 inch, somewhere in there. And again, this is just a personal preference. Everybody has their own way of doing it. This is just what I do. And what I do is I look at the canvas and I go, okay, how much confetti is in here versus how much color blocking? Well, this particular section of the canvas has a pretty good amount of both. And I don't measure anything because I'm just not going to be that dedicated to having to carry around a measuring tape. But I do try to eyeball it and get them fairly even as much as I can, unless I have a reason to not do that. So this one, I just kind of eyeballed it and I decided, okay, so in terms of practical sections, I decided that a section from the bottom up to about here seemed like enough lengthwise, vertically, to work on in a stretch. And then to work on it from widthwise, one side to the other, I sort of, again, just eyeballed it. They're not perfect, and that's okay. Like, for instance, this section right here is a little bit more narrow, and there's a lot of confetti in here in the green area, but actually there's quite a bit of color blocking in the white and gray area. So I did a little bit more narrow. Now, the third panel, you'll notice here, this panel is actually larger. Why? Because there's hardly any confetti in here. Most of this is literally going to be a multi-placer making lines and that'll go quickly. So that one I allowed a little bit bigger space because it's not going to be as time demanding as the two panels next to it. Okay. And then the other two are about like this middle one. So that's why I don't worry about measuring it and being exact. Now you could look at this canvas and go, okay, well, it's 22 inches wide and it's 31 inches long. Okay, so width-wise, I'm gonna measure, 5.5 inches across, and every 5.5 inches, I'm gonna put a piece of washi tape, and they'll all be exactly uniform. Hey, if that's your shtick, go for it. Same thing, if it's 31 inches and you're like, okay, I'm gonna do, 3 inches, and there'll be 10 of those. And so every spot then you would have would be 3 by 5.5, which is, a standard photograph size. And you would have it perfectly uniform for your entire working time on the canvas. Totally fine. There's no reason not to do that if that's really what you're into. But I don't, excuse me, I don't go for the uniform look. I am more interested in breaking it down into the size that I will enjoy working on a canvas. Now, I could have just as easily decided, oh, these are so much work, and made them half as tall or half as wide and had more of them. Completely up to you. I just felt like for this particular canvas, this was a manageable size section. Now, when I finish down here and I go up to the next section, I'll evaluate that section next and decide, okay, well, how long and how wide and does this need to be? And then I'll take the washi tape and I will section it off and get it ready to go. Okay. Now, again, this is a very large canvas. So, obviously I gave that one a little more thought because it's going to be a minute getting that one done. All right. The next one, and this print is actually called Water Dragon. It's a 2006 Ann Stokes picture that I'm sure was confiscated and used the way it wasn't supposed to be, but that's the way it is. So this one, as I looked at it, and this is a 30 by 40, which is a 12 by 16 inch. Okay, same thing. You could do, if you really wanted to be great and be very uniform, you could just do 4 inches across and 4 inches up, and they would be perfectly 4 by 4 sections that you could just take it and run with it. I looked at this and decided that down here, there was quite a bit of color blocking and not a lot else. So these sections, it just looked like it was about right to go about that high. And then I just kind of tried to split it in as evenly matched sections as I could. The next section, lots of color blocking still, but then there are some panels like this panel on the end where it's got part of her clothing, part of the wall, part of the scenery was more confetti. So this panel is going to take me longer than this panel, okay, and that's all right. The middle panel going to take quite a bit of time because we're all of this, all these W's, that's our friend 310, so that's going to be fairly quickly. That's going to go, color blocking and multi-placing easily. But the rest of this is all confetti. And so, and you've got, her skin, you've got the dragon face, you've got all this other stuff. So that's going to be, that one's going to take me longer. Okay, but it's also right in the center of the picture. So I felt like, okay, I'll make these two a little bit wider and this one a little bit thinner and should be fine. Okay, the next level up. Okay, now we're getting into more confetti. These sections and this section are heavily confetti. So these are smaller. These are more square, not as rectangular as the ones you've seen before. Okay. And so, and then I've put the washi tape all the way around the sticky border so that it will not stick to me or get anything on it while I'm working on it. Okay. So also, when you go to work on a section, okay, so I use a ceramic knife. You see there's a little point in there. Okay, and I will either cut my plastic this direction and go vertically, Or I might go horizontally. It depends on how I'm going to fold it. And sometimes how you fold it, you know, it just depends on your orientation. How are you going to have it? Are you going to have it straight up and down? Are you going to have it, you know, lying sideways because you're going to work on a light pad, so you're turning it sideways? Like, what is the plan? So, so that's entirely up to you. So all you do, because if you take the little ceramic blade, this particular tool, I actually love it. I think I paid, I don't know, 89 or 99 cents at Temu, and it has not only the ceramic blade on the top, but in the handle, if you push the lever up, you have scissors. So I can also cut off my plastic as I go if I so choose. Okay, so, and just be, you know, gentle. You don't have to worry. You're not going to slice through your canvas if you're gentle. Okay, so what I would probably do, let's say I'm gonna work and fold this over this direction. Okay, so I would go right next to where I taped off the line. I would put my ceramic blade down, and I would put a little slice in. And again, you're not going to hurt your canvas. Just be, you know, be careful. You don't have to push down real hard, okay? And then you can get the cover minder of your choice. So let's say I'm going to use this Little Mermaid for the purposes of this demo. Okay, so after you make the cut lines, you peel that back to the next tape line. I usually make a little crease just to make it easy. Put your cover minder on there, and you're good to go to work on this section. And it's ready to go. It's nice and sticky, no problem. Now, I like this method. I don't use release papers. There are a lot of people that just remove the plastic the minute they get get it out to work on it, and then they put release paper on it in whatever size they're going to work on, and so that then gives them sections by the size of the release paper pieces. Totally fine. You're welcome to do that. I just find this easy, economical, a huge time saver. And I mean, because they come with the painting, so you don't have to remember where you put your release papers, or, you know, worry about any of that. So that's why I do it this way. Now, if I only get a couple of rows in, or if I only get part of this done, no problem. I'm going to leave. So I'm going to take my cover minder and pick it up, take my plastic, peel it right back down. Wherever there's still sticky, it'll stick down. And now I'm ready to put it aside and move on to the rest of my day, or whatever, or my evening, or whatever I have to do. So yeah, that is how I do the sectioning. Now, again, you want to consider the size of your canvas and, you know, how much work might be in it. We have, sorry guys. And also, okay, when I'm doing these canvases and I kit them up, okay, this is the kit up for Soulmates. So I used my Elizabeth Ward containers. There are only 38 colors for Soulmates. It actually did take me 41 out of 42 containers to kit it all up. But so I used my Elizabeth Ward for that one. Water Dragon, the one that you just saw, the Ann Stokes pull from. That one is kitted up in this container. So I had a little extra, so I just kept a bag, but I have it kitted up here in my little Tic Tac containers. Which I generally really like these. I mean, they don't take up a lot of room. It's fairly simple. That canvas has 20 colors. There are 24 of the containers in here, and I already had 2 containers full of this color, so that's why I decided to just wait until one or the other is empty. Or just go ahead and work out of the bag till it's gone, and then I can get rid of the bag and then have it ready to go. But, yep, since there were 24 of these, I went, yep, that'll work. So that's what I have the water dragon kitted up into. Okay. And then the next one. This canvas, which I had kitted up, that I love. But here's the thing. Oh, these people are so sneaky. This is actually a combination of several of Ann Stokes' designs. That's really what this is. This picture up here, the lady with the owl and the owl in the tree, is actually from her painting she did in 2011 called Midnight Messenger. That's where this one comes from. This piece down here with the maiden and the unicorn is from Blue Moon, which is a painting she did in 2016. Over here, this one is called Dragon Mage, which Ann Stokes did in 2017. And this one up here, the lady with the unicorn, is called Solace, also from a painting she did in 2016. So they put a bunch of hers together and created one big piece. This one's a 40 by 50. Now, and I don't know, this is, I'm not sure which one this came from. I couldn't locate the information. She did a lot of silver dragon with this kind of characteristic and wings in the 2014, 2015 era, so I'm guessing it's probably from around there. But I'll tell you what, they did a great job mixing these together. Doesn't this look like it should be called Mystical Gathering? Because look at them all the creatures, all the people, all the dragons. I mean, seriously. I mean, and it's a beautiful piece, and I'm going to love every minute of it, even though, you know, it's clearly a mishmash of Ann Stokes art. So, yeah, that's been an interesting situation. But again, this is a 40 by 50 centimeter. So, you know, if you wanted to break it down by centimeters, again, you could do 4 rows and then 5 rows and have your little, you know, little 4 by 5 centimeter spots and be perfectly uniform. Again, I didn't feel a need for that much uniformity. You notice that these are bigger sections here than say these because I eyeballed it. I wasn't worried about measuring it. I just need a guide so that I know, you know, that I'm working on a section, because I need to have the parameter for me. I need to see the boundary so that I know what I'm working on at any given time. I did try with this piece, because there's so much going on, I did try to make sure that how I sectioned it, each section had some color blocking and some confetti. And with this piece, it wasn't hard to do because there is a lot of all of it. Each individual picture that this is made from has lots of both. So I don't think it's going to be an issue. This is going to take me some time to do. Let's, you know, not be silly. It is going to take me some time, but I love everything about it, so I'm okay taking that time. I like the way the women look. I like the way the creatures look. I like the snowy mountain in the background. I like the sky. I mean, I'm really fine with it. So I will enjoy spending extra time on this canvas and be totally fine. And you see again how I did section off the sticky part with the washi tape at the bottom. It was much thicker. I used a thinner washi tape to section it off. Now, can you use thick washi tape for sections? Of course you can. There's no law here. You may do whatever floats your boat. So, this one actually only had 23 colors, but I knew there were going to be a lot of some of these colors. Like, there's going to be a lot of this blue color. It's in almost every panel. There's going to be a lot of the 310. There was going to be a lot of the white. So I went ahead and used my 30 count storage for this, and I used 26 of the containers, even though there's only 23 colors, because again, there are some colors that required extra room. So no problem. I gave it extra room. So Got everything in here I need for this particular painting in my 30 count, so that's all good. And then on this one, okay, now this one is the partial that I told you about before. And this is actually from the Ann Stokes painting Soulmates, which she did in 2007. Now, you can see that I did start it, so I've completed this much so far. Okay, now, this is a partial. And so the only thing that's a drill field in the entire thing is just her dress. That's it. Her dress, nothing else. None of the dragon, none of the background, nothing. Nope, not her. Literally just her dress. So this one I did not section off. Why? There's no sticky around here because this is paint. So no problem. What did concern me though about this is that I'm going to have to seal this because the glue on here, well, you can see it's popping off already. The glue on this particular partial is terrible. Really, you guys, it's really bad. It's barely sticky. Drills are sliding. I mean, it's going to need to be sealed. So now my dilemma is, and originally I thought, okay, well, I will just seal around the dress because that's really all that has drills on it. And then I went, you know, here's the thing. I like the artwork, and this material is much more of a canvas. It's not papery like some of them. This is actually like material. So maybe I will go ahead and seal the entire thing just to protect the painted portion of the canvas. Since I'm going to be sealing the drill field anyway, I mean, I might as well do the whole thing just to keep everything going. So, but because this is a partial, that's why I did not section it off. I'm literally just using a cover minder, and when I do the next section, I'll crease it again, use a color minder, and then I'll be finished. So I didn't feel a need to put the washi tape on, but this is an exception. This isn't the rule. Most of the time, a canvas that you get, you're going to want to figure out how you want to work on it. If you never want to use sectioning of any kind, by golly, that's okay. You don't have to. You can do it any way you'd like. If you just want to peel a corner up and work on it and then put it down, totally and completely up to you. But yeah, this is such an interesting partial. I've literally never seen one done this way where it's just the dress. So I'm gonna do it and just sort of see how it comes out. But yeah, really interesting how that one was done. Oh, and this one literally only has 12 colors because it's just a dress. Okay, so I went ahead and kit this one up in just my little glass jar bead storage. I used these only because these are a little bit taller than, say, these, which I'm going to be using for the dragon coasters that I'm going to show you here in a minute that I forgot to show you yesterday. These are a little shorter, but there are 12 of these. I mean, I could have used these, but I'll be using these for the coasters because they're crystals and they tend to fit, you know, easily in here. And I wasn't sure how many actual drills I was going to be up against for each color since there's only 12. So it turned out I could have used the smaller ones. I had plenty of room. But yeah, that's my glass jar bead organizer. This one's bead landing, so that means it came from Michael's. Sorry, Michael's, probably, you know, 50% off or something. I did get 2 of these because they were on sale. So together I have 24. If I needed to do another, you know, canvas that had 20 or 23 colors, I could put them together and band them together and use them that way. But it worked out fine. So I have all 12 that I need for that. Okay, so now that I was able to explain to you how I do the sectioning and the way I go about it. And remember, there's lots of ways to do this. Entirely up to you. If you want to do you know, I just want to do boxes. I want to do 25 boxes on a canvas and just do a box at a time because, you know, I'm time constrained or whatever the reason is. Absolutely do it. You need to have fun and enjoy your diamond painting. So you do it however suits you the best. Okay? Now I'm going to show you how, from a scratch perspective, that I go about getting these kitted up. I recently received a canvas for an event that I'm going to be doing in March. Richard over at Real Men Craft 2 is doing an event in March called M&M. Now, can you do actual M&Ms? Yeah, he said you could. You could do a whole picture of your M&Ms if you want to. But otherwise, whatever the title of your canvas or the subject matter of your canvas, the two-word title or subject has to both start with an M. So he got a canvas of Marilyn Monroe. So there's two M's. He's going to be doing for the event. Could be Marilyn Manson too, if you were interested, or, you know, anything you wanted. I decided, since I've been wanting to do a Disney one, I haven't joined any events that have been Disney, so, you know, literally at all. So I got my canvas, Minnie Mouse. Now, she's cute, and I love Minnie, and she's clearly in this picture, she's in her craft room, which I love, because, you know, crafter. So, she's working on her sewing machine, okay. But I liked this one because, for one thing, I'm going to change the light here a little bit, okay. For one thing, Minnie isn't just all one color. Like, there were a lot of canvases where the whole picture was just her body and she was literally, you know, black and then skin tone and a color in her dress and shoes, and that was it. So, you know, it was like 2 or 3 colors worth, and I just, nah, I need more color in my life. So this one has all kinds of color. Now, you might have noticed, this is a confetti heavy canvas. I mean, look, just the bottom floor where she's working is just, I mean, how many colors can you fit in a square inch, right? This whole bottom 3 inches of this canvas is confetti. This is going to be time consuming, okay? Up here in the window where the sun is supposed to be coming through, this is all color blocking. Thank goodness, because, ooh, look over here. Confetti, confetti, for days. Okay, now this is a 30 by 40, and so, and it has 21 colors. So, I would ordinarily be like, okay, well, you know, completely fine. I can go ahead and, you know, just do my regular sectioning off. However, because I know that there's going to be a lot of confetti, I'm going to think about how many sections I'm actually going to want. Now, I'm going to go ahead and go around the outside with the thicker washi tape, because I think it's good to start there. It's just easier. You can even do this particular part of it if you're a person that likes to straighten out your canvases to get some of the wrinkles out when they arrive. You could actually do this at the same time, and then it's already done for you when you go to work on it later. But, you know, again, completely up to you. However you want to do it is how you should do it, because it's going to be your work. So you want to do it however best floats your boat. Okay, so first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to take the peel this back. Now remember, this is the only part of the washi tape that goes on the actual canvas and not on top of the plastic. Okay, because again, remember, and if you forget, you'll know as soon as you go to touch it, because you're going to go, ooh, I'm going to put my finger in that. I'm going to put my arm in that. I'm going to get my sweater in that. Yes, you will. So this is to protect the area that got past the drill field and got some glue on there. Okay, this is not what I'm doing for sectioning. Now I could use this washi tape for sectioning, you betcha. I just happen to like having a thinner washi to section because I can see around it easier. It doesn't take up as much of the canvas. So then you let that plastic fall back down, then you flip to quarter turn to the side. So yes, I like to see the, that's another reason really that I don't use release paper, because release paper covers up your canvas. I mean, you know, it's another reason, well, one of the many reasons that I don't like double-sided adhesive. Those are the ones that you order, and instead of having poured glue, it has double-sided adhesive, and it's got a thick cover, opaque cover. And you cannot see it until you pull it back and reveal it. Okay, what's another thing I don't like about double-sided adhesive. There are lots of things I don't like about it, but that's one of the main things, is you cannot see where you're working. And so I like to be able to see the artwork as I'm coming along, because that's why I bought the canvas, because I liked the artwork. So I don't want to keep it covered up. I want to see it as I'm working. Now you do have to be careful. Okay, I do use the legend on the side of the canvas, so I don't want to cover that up. So you just have to know that that's going to be an area that's going to have some sticky on it, so be careful. You know, if you're doing something over there, or you have to touch it, because it's, you know, you're going to be sticky. The way you can circumvent that is if you take a color copy and of the color legend, and then you can just have it on a sheet of paper to work on. Then you can cover this up too, and then you don't have to worry about it. But I'm okay with remembering that this has some sticky on it, and I won't touch it, so that's okay. But if you are concerned that you might, then by all means, go ahead and make your copy on your color copier. And you want to use, remember, you want to use a color copier. You cannot afford for this to be copied in black and white, or you're not going to know what the heck's going on. Each one of these symbols is a color. And if you have any symbols that are similar, you can't afford for them to be black and white or gray, because you need to know which one makes the most sense of where you're going to be putting it, so you know which one to use. Okay. But yep, it's easy enough to do that. If you have a copier or access to a copier that makes color copies, you can absolutely do that. And then you can go ahead and put the tape over it and be stickiness free on the outside, and all will be right with the world. So, yeah. And then when you go to, which you'll see in a minute, and again, I do this normally. Now, I'm not going to kit this one up right away, because I'm not going to be working on it until March. But I wanted to have something where I could demo for you, where you could actually see the process. So normally I would be doing this just as I was getting ready to do the kit up. And so I wouldn't be overly concerned that I'm covering up this part, because by the time I'm going to work on it, I already know what diamond paint is. I've already got the drills ready to go, and I already know the size before I tape it. So that's not going to bother me that that's covered. And I can see through this washi tape well enough that if I did wonder and I needed to know, I can see through it. So it's fine. But if you use an opaque washi tape and you think you may need to know that information, you could just write it down on a sticky note and stick it to the plastic, and then you have it and you don't have to worry about it. So, so yeah, I got this one from Amazon. You can probably tell because they do a lot of folding in half of their canvases, which I wish they wouldn't do, but to be honest, really, it's less damaged than if you get a canvas that's been rolled up around drills for months at a time, and now you're trying to get those wrinkles out, and it's another nightmare, and you're just like, oh, really? Seriously? So, you know, it'll be fine. It would just be nice if they just didn't feel the need to crease it. If everybody could just ship in a nice foam roller with a tube, boy, there'd be a lot less need to straighten everything out. But, you know, it is what it is. So, okay, so that's all the washi tape. All of my borders that have sticky stuff, with the exception of the legends, are nice and covered. So now I can lean on it all day long when I take this plastic off and not have to stick to it, not have to get anything on it. Everything is good. Okay, so now I'm going to take the thin washi tape of my choosing. I do want to mention one other thing to you guys, just because, you know, it really bit me when I did it. When you go around the outside, there's a lot of really beautiful washi tape, and a lot of people are interested in having a matching washi tape that goes around it, because some people do leave it on. They don't remove it. I remove it when I'm finished working before I seal it. Some people leave it on permanently. Okay, fine. But I will tell you, I was doing the canvas Sweet Purple from Diamond Art Club, which I loved from start to finish. It had every purple and pink shade known to man or beast, and I loved every minute of it. However, I used a really pretty washi tape around the outside that had metallic in it, and when I went to remove it, and I didn't seal it, because, you know, you don't seal Diamond Art Club, because if you seal a premium company, you void your warranty. So don't do that. Okay, so I had it on there and I was getting ready to remove it, and I don't know what happened, but the areas that had the metallic pieces in the tape dyed the canvas. So I ruined my border of the canvas. So if I ever decide to hang it or put it in a frame, I will have to cut them off in order to do that. And I know that they're designed to be cut off anyway, but it was not a pleasant thing to find out. So just know that you need to not necessarily use washi tape that has a lot of metallic pieces in it, because they may go through and stick to your canvas and never come off. So be careful with that. Canvases you're gonna seal, like budget-friendly canvases, like I'll be sealing this one eventually. No big deal, because I will seal it and take off the edges and it won't matter what happens with the edges. But if it's one that you are not going to be sealing and you might want to be framing or hanging up, just be warned that it can really, washi tapes are not created equal, and some of them can really damage your canvas. So just be very careful, please. I don't want any of you to be upset about losing something that you've worked on a lot and now it's, you know, a disaster, because that's always heartbreaking and frustrating at the same time. Okay, now I'm going to get a skinny washi. Okay, and you'll know when you start using washi tape, most of them are not created equal. Some of them have hardly any stick at all. Now, washi tape is supposed to be a low-tack tape. Doesn't mean it's supposed to be a no-tack tape. And let me tell you, oh my God, some of them really do not have any adhesive to speak of. And then some of them are so tacky that it's almost, you know, it's almost Scotch tape. Okay, now I'm looking at this and I'm deciding, and the one thing that I do know from Amazon is that this is creased right in the middle, as close to the middle as they could get it. So I know that this line is the middle. Okay, so down here, I'm going to pick a spot, since this is so much confetti. I'm going to say it's probably fine to, from the middle to the bottom, I'm going to be pretty close to even, because I think that that's probably a good amount to work on. So then all you do is you pick a line in your canvas. Let me see if I can get you closer. Okay, pick a line in your canvas and put your tape right above it so that you're covering up the line. Now remember, this goes on top of the plastic, not under it. Don't ruin your canvas, on top of the plastic, okay? And then just kind of make sure that it stays where you want it. Goes all the way across. And then you got your first line. Then I will go up here close to where this border is at the halfway mark. And put it down here, like so. Okay. Now, when you're doing this sectioning off, if you have something where you can see that you're going to be working on something and you don't want to get to the border here, to the border along here and split whatever you're working on in half. Like, I realize I'm going to be breaking up the R's and the K's symbol because now there's some R's and K's on this side. I'm okay with that. If you're not okay with that and you want to make a bigger section, go up a little further so it has all of that at once. So you only have to dig out that color a couple of times and not, permanently across the board. Okay. So now I've got the two sections. I've got one here and I've got one here. Now, this is going to be more color blocking along here. So I'm okay if this is a little bit larger because it's not going to take me very long. This part over here is a lot of color blocking. So totally fine. So I'm going to make them pretty close to equal. Where this little case ends here is a natural point. So I'll probably just use that line since it was already kind of there for me. Because that would be a normal break, I would say. And just follow it all the way across. Okay. Now, again, be cognizant if you're using the legends that you don't cover them up when you get to the end. You want to end the tape prior to, okay? And so now I have, let me pull you back out a little bit. So now I have a larger piece here, smaller here, and then pretty close for the bottom too. Okay, now I have to decide lengthwise. Now I could either do straight down the middle and have just 2 rows and 4 columns. But I think because I can see how confetti heavy the 2 sides are going to be, lots of confetti. This center piece isn't as bad, but ooh, the sides, the borders of this are heavy confetti. So I'm going to go ahead and make this 3 lines across vertically so that it's not overwhelming to me to be able to do. And now again, since you're going to be using the plastic and you're going to be, cutting it up some kind of way. Now, if you don't have a ceramic knife or you don't want to use one, that's okay. You can pick up the plastic and cut it with regular scissors. That's completely fine. It's not going to hurt a thing. And then you still have a flap that you can pull back to use. And again, so if you don't finish your section, no big. Just pull it back down, set it down. It'll be fine till you return. Okay. All right. So there's one. And then I'm going to just try to make fairly even parts of what's left over here. That looks pretty good. Okay. And yes, I'm not worried about separating out some of the colors and having to pull them out more than once. That's okay, because I do get tired of using one color for a very long time and never getting another color. So what I sometimes will do, and since it's sectioned off, it's easy to do. What I sometimes will do is I'll work on it. Like I say, if I'm working on this side, and all of these little eyes, which are going to probably be white or some variation off white, And then I come up to the border. Instead of going right to the very next section and keeping it in my tray, I go ahead and put it back and go down here and do something more fun because, you know, I'm tired of the eyes. So sometimes the eyes don't have it, people. Okay, so then this canvas is ready to go. Now you'll notice these sections from here to here, all the way across, are a little bit larger than these sections that have the heavy confetti. Okay, in fact, the heaviest confetti is the smallest box of the group. Okay, now again, I do that by design because that's what works for me. I know that my time limit is going to require that I think ahead about some of this, okay? And so that's okay. I'm really fine with that. And so I section it off how it's going to work for my time to diamond paint and enjoy it. You may do it any way you want to. Maybe you just don't like the feel or the sound of crinkly plastic. That's okay. Get release papers. Tear the whole thing off, put release papers on, and those will give you an automatic section. Diamond Art Club is trying to get rid of their cover minders, which I personally think is sad, but a lot of people are, I guess, complaining because, oh, the magnet came off. I don't know. Do these people not own glue? I don't know. Anyway, so Diamond Art Club is doing away with these adorable cover minders. This is one I made, but you get what I'm saying. And so they're going to have plastic that's pre-perforated so that all you have to do is tear off a section, put it aside, work on it, and if you don't finish it, just take the whole piece back and slap it on. So it will work more like release papers. I personally am not a fan of that. Why? Well, because it's going to be uniform. They're going to measure it and they're going to make what size they think it should be, and then they're going to perforate it that way. As you've seen, I like to make the determination on how big my sections are and how I work on them, and and again, this way, the fun part is I can do this any way I want. I could just cut out this section if I wanted to, make a flap out of it, fold it back, work in the middle to start. You could do the same thing with perforated paper, but what I'm getting at is there would be none of this getting to do larger sections quickly because of multi-placing and smaller sections because it's confetti heavy. It's going to be exactly uniform for the whole thing. So if you're fine with that, super duper. I mean, it's not going to hurt anything. I'm still going to do this. I just won't use the perforation. So it doesn't matter to me. And I will probably still use the cover minders because I happen to like them. I think they're adorable. They're fun to collect. And, if you get them and the magnet is not on, super glue, E6000, the adhesive of your choice, and you're back on the road. No big deal. Ta-da, cover minder. So, this canvas for me is now ready to go. So all I have to do when I get ready to do the event in March is decide which section I want to start with, get my ceramic knife out, cut along the paper so I can, fold it over, and I have my section ready to rock and roll. I got all my stickiness covered. So all is good. So that is how I do my sectioning. Let me know in the comments what you guys do. How do you do your sectioning? Do you even section? Do you just pull up and then, or pull it halfway up and then work and then put it down until it's finished? Or what do you do? Because I find it fascinating that we all work so differently doing the same thing, which is kind of cool because that's our individuality, which should be, different. And yet all is fine. There's no right or wrong answer. You can literally do this any way you want. I mean, you can turn off the video and go, geez, what an idiot. Why would she do it that way? If you so choose. So, yep, you do what works best for you so that you're getting the most enjoyment out of your craft, because that's the goal. This should be fun. If this is a headache or it's causing you tension or you have OCD and it's out of control, stop doing that. There's nothing about that that's necessary, okay? So So now normally I would be ready to do this and I would be ready to start, but because I'm going to be waiting, which is fine. Now you can, when you first get your canvases, as you're straightening out the plastic, you can section then. Then when you take it out to work on it, whether it's 3 weeks or 3 months or 3 years later, it's ready to go. So you don't have to worry about it. Like I said, I normally don't section until I'm ready to kit up and work on it. So, you know, but it's up to you. It depends on how you want to do it to get the most enjoyment out of your art. So that is how things go. Now again, I'm so sorry I forgot to show you all those WIPs yesterday when I said I was going to. Normally, I am not a fibber because I can't stand fibbers. But boy, yeah, there's something to be said for just plain being tired. So I will show you now the last item, which are the coasters that I'm going to be kitting up into the little short jar containers that you already saw. And I received them, here they are. I ordered them from, I believe this was, oh, I thought this was Amazon. No, this actually was Temu. Although I think Amazon does have them, because I think I saw them when I was doing some last minute shopping for Christmas. So if you needed a gift for the dragon lover in your life, they are still available, I'm pretty sure. Or if you have to exchange something, I'm telling you. And it's so funny because I did a couple sets of coasters for gifts, which by the way were taken in the manner which was intended, which, you know, was that I worked on them out of love, and both of the recipients utterly adored them. So I was pleased. All right. This is a set of 8 coasters. So there's the first one. Should I get a little closer and do something about that glare? There we go. So he's cool. He's kind of a yellow and green. Oops. This one, kind of, you know, white and some red and some blue. This one. I like too that all of the dragons are, you know, a little bit different form. Like they're not all one style of dragon. There's a few different ones, which I love. Love this one. Look at that eye. And it's going to be its own drill, which is really cool. Yep. I might do, because I think this is the gold crystal. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that it's either this one or the one that's a little bit lighter. I might go ahead and use the gold drills that I got in the advent calendar with Diamond Art Club instead. The electro drills, because I think those would really be stunning on here as well. I mean, how fun, right? And then this one. This one's got the grays and the blacks and the fire in the background, some blue and some yellow. This one is more of a serpentine dragon. So much more snake-esque, right? Lots more color in there. There's some blue and some brown, some orange and yellow, green. I like that his crest and his scales are blue. That's kind of cool. This one looks like he's ready to take off. He looks a little bit more like the fire dragon canvas that I have from Diamond Art Club that I did the unboxing for a while back, which I'm anxious to start also sometime next year. And last but not least, this green dragon that's surrounded by all these different colors and plants and flowers. Yeah. So that was the set of 8. So I am going to love these. I didn't do any sets of coasters to keep for myself. I did the butterflies and the sunflowers for one person, and I did the dog faces for another person. And now I find myself in need of coasters. So you knew I had to get dragons, right? Of course you did. So that's all of the dragons. All right, people. I don't think there's any Special drills, I think it's just all crystals. I don't see any that are unusual shaped. Well, let me just double check. I would not want to mislead all you beautiful people, because you know I adore all of you. And so we have to be accurate, don't we? Okay. So, let me see. I think so. I think everything is crystals. Let's look. Okay, so there's a kind of an amber color. Ooh, and that beautiful turquoisey blue. That's so pretty. And a very light, more ocean blue. And a lighter kind of goldish yellow. And sort of a, in between the other two yellows. Ooh, and a black crystal. I think those are cool. I like those. And regular black drills. And some red crystals. And yet another yellow. How about that? And this is a darker brownish. This is a gray. And another bright kind of sunshine yellow. That's kind of a chartreusey green color. And that's a yellow green for sure. That would be a great dragon scale color. More of an amber color. These are a light green color. This is more of a Kelly green. Ooh, that pink is pretty. That's like a carnation pink. It's really pretty. Another light green. Spring green kind of color. And these are kind of along the dark gray color. And then, ooh, a cherry red color. And an orange. And that's everybody. So, yep, no special drills, but all crystals except the black normal drill color, which is sort of cool. So, let's see. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 13, 14, 15, 16, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23 colors. So I'm not going to be using my 12s. I'll be using a 24. So that means probably, let me see, probably my square 24s. I have some square containers that kind of look like this, although this is a 32, but I'm going to use these, but in a 24 count to kit these up. But I'm excited. I can't wait to start these. Obviously, standard kit, no big deal. And this comes, what I like about this set too is that it comes boxed and it comes with a holder. Because, you know, would you believe it's hard to find a holder, which is sort of silly. And I don't know why some of them don't come with one, but some of them don't. All right, guys. Well, I hope you enjoyed the look at the WIPs. I'm sorry it wasn't included in yesterday's video. Oh God, I'm so embarrassed by that. And I hope you enjoyed seeing how I section off my paintings. Again, please let me know in the comments how you do your sectioning, if you do section, and if you don't, how do you do yours? Especially the large kits. You know, you guys that work on the, 60 by 109 centimeter kits that just make my eyes pop out of my head. I would like to know how you go about working on it, because some of these even, are space limited, and so at my house. So, yep, keep me posted. Happy New Year, everyone, and I will talk to you in the next one. Love you all, and have a wonderful New Year's, and drive safe. Take an Uber if you're going to drink, and have a good time, and I'll talk to you later. Bye, guys.